So you probably have seen the thumbnail and you're like, who is this guy, right? And I exactly know this kind of frustration comes from when you have sort of learned so much but you are not willing to unlearn about stuff, because it's always difficult to climb a mountain, come back and find another one that is bigger than the first one. And that happens because humans psychologically do not want to put efforts in whatever they do, right? They always think that lesser effort se jo bhi ho jaye, we should go towards that. So now, why I say frameworks are bullshit, it's not completely true. So frameworks are generalized, right? So frameworks are generalized to a fashion that you have to build on top of them. You either can build on top of a framework, or what you could do is you could start and solve a problem from scratch and build a framework for that. So for instance, let's say you go and buy a TV, right? So you wouldn't use a generalized frameworks because the TVs have been more advanced. You wouldn't the features that were there in TVs 5 years ago would not be the features that would be in TVs that are sold now. Those would be updated, right? So you would have to build frameworks to choose a certain kind of TV or a certain kind of product available in the modern day. Frameworks are consistently not continual with time. Also, frameworks can be applied on a lot of problems, but to be specific, your problems cannot be solved through generalized frameworks.
We don't do that.
We do dev and design at Versatile, right? And we weren't sure which services to provide. So we created a framework and we saw a lot of videos as well. And the best thing that worked out for us was creating a personal framework according to us, right? Because once we went ahead and saw like a lot of videos on YouTube and understood a lot of frameworks, all of them said different things, and no framework was comfortable for us, and no framework was giving us enough flow, right? When we were working, we were not getting enough flow and we were not enjoying that work when we were using other frameworks. When we custom created our own framework, that's where the magic happened, because we thought frameworks keeping in mind the following things. Who are the people in our company? And those will be different in each company. What are the traits of those people in the company? And those also would be different because there are different people. What kind of services can these people manage? What kind of services can these people actually sell? What are the services that would be sold at a better price? What are the services that would be delivered fast? Also, what are the services that can be delivered in the period of 1 to 2 months, 2 to 4 months? And is it important for us to even look at services in general? Like, why should our company not move to building a mini product as a service? All of these questions arise when you build a personalized framework according to your company or according to your individual selves. Even if you go and figure out a problem on an individual level, you have to build your own frameworks, because your personality would be a variable that would change every time. Because let's say I put a framework A on X person and I put a framework A on me, right? My personality would adapt to that framework differently, and that personality would adapt to that framework in a completely different fashion. Also, the time and situations that you have at your home, family, in your friend circle, etc. would be really different at all the time. So you really need to make sure what works for you. How can you solve your specific problems? And frameworks are an enabler. What you really need to do is solve your problem beautifully and in a very optimal way. Frameworks are just an enabler, just like tech is for solving any other problem. Thank you. Bye.